Vaheguru, Satnam, blessings. Today we are into chapter 4 of the book, a very tricky subject and a prickly one at times. It is my humble views of God. These are not necessarily Sikh views, but these are views that I have gleaned over my 70 years being virtually born in a Gurdwara and brought up by a Sikh Brahmgani, a Savant, Gani Harchand Singh Basiya, and a wonderful family which has always been involved with Sikhi. Sikhi, as I said, has always been like a life philosophy to me. I never really looked upon it like a religion as such. And what beautiful opportunity we have been given in this pandemic to sit at home and immerse yourselves in this. So forgive me. It's only cha, by the way. So, Sikhing Success and Happiness, chapter 4. And thank you for the good wishes that a number of you have been sending in, encouraging me to continue doing this. And also a big thank you to SikhNet. They have truly now grown into a global phenomenon. So they should perhaps call themselves SikhNetGlobal.com. I don't know. They are doing a wonderful job. So let's go straight into it. Do I look all right?
Yeah, you look fine.
Thank you, darling. My take on God or good. God is with one O missing from the word good. I have a quotation right on the top from Irish comedian Dave Allen. Whenever he finished his show, his last phrase was, "And may your God go with you." Every religion, faith, or way of life group tends to tailor God to its own purposes, has its own name or names for God, and some have numerous gods. The word God is a Western term and mainly from the Christian faith. The common name given by Muslims for God is Allah. Jews have numerous names for God too, some of which they believe must never be revealed to non-Jews. Hindus have a plethora of gods. Prominent amongst them is the trinity of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the administrator, and Shiva, the destroyer. Other gods and goddesses besides thousands of deities. Hence, all Hindus have a specific god or deity or living guru to pray to. It is quite interesting how custodians of different monotheistic religions speak on behalf of their god. One wonders how their gods, god or gods, relayed their messages to these custodians of religion. In fact, some elements of the Abrahamic religions that claim exclusivity to God and heaven have created hell on earth for everyone, including themselves. Claiming exclusivity to God or to heaven and making decisions on behalf of God, to one's own advantage, of course, is the root cause of all religiously motivated violence and wars on this planet. Heinous evil deeds are done in the name of God. Nonconformists to a particular religion or sect are burnt at the stake, decapitated, stoned, shot, or killed in other horrible ways in the name of God. Hands and other limbs are cut in the name of God. Ethnic cleansing is carried out in the name of God. Suicide bombers and religious killers operate in the name of God or holy war. Some of the names of holy wars are jihad, crusades, dharam yudh. It is no wonder that many turn away from this concept of God. How often have we heard, if there was a God, why does he not stop all the terrible things which happen, especially to good and innocent people? So, the natural conclusion is that if God is supposedly in control, he would not allow such atrocities to occur. And if all these horrible crimes are happening in his name, then he is either impotent or impotent, whichever you like it, or does not exist. We give rise and justification to atheism. Of course, religions have found a convenient intervention of the devil to blame the evil upon. At random, I picked two definitions of God as follows: superhuman being worshipped as having power over nature and human fortunes. That's the Oxford Illustrated Dictionary. The World Book Dictionary explains God as the maker and ruler of the world, the one supreme being who loves and helps man. These are classic Abrahamic explanations of God. God can be loving, or God can also be full of wrath, anger. I once saw a rather amusing colossal billboard sign in the Bible Belt in southeastern USA. It said, "Don't make me come down there." We need to explore a better understanding of God, perhaps not from a religious viewpoint, but a practical, even secular one. Let us bring man, chapter 3, mana, into play rather than just using our muth, intellect. Firstly, let me allay any fear that you have to accept the concept of God that I describe here. You have a right to your own God. To think that the existence of the universe, our human existence on a planet within such an amazing universe within universes and galaxies, the orderly way in which all of existence, all of creation operates, how stars, planets, and suns all follow an orderly existence, the law of gravity, as just being one big accident or explained off as a big bang or an elongated whimper, appears rather naive. At best, we puny human beings do not know. We can conjecture, we can spout forth theories, but the bottom line is we do not know. The limitations of our intellect, our muth, cannot possibly comprehend why or how the physical universe came into being, nor how it operates. We have theories, many theories. This is where the mana comes into play. We can feel. We can sense the existence of this entity, commonly referred to as God. In the Star Wars movies series, for example, it was called the Force. May the Force be with you. A quote from the Guru Granth Sahib. इस जग में पुरख एक है, होर सगली नार सबाई, सब घट भोग वै अलपत रहै, अलख ना लिखना जाई. Page 591 to 92. In this life, there is one eternal male, Akal Purkh. The rest of creation is female. He enjoys within all and yet remains aloof. He is formless, beyond time and space, and is beyond human comprehension. The above quotation firstly solves the gender war. All of creation is female, including humankind. Secondly, it infers that one can only feel his presence, but cannot comprehend him, or it, if you like, intellectually, with the muth. Importantly, the mention of remaining aloof in the quotation above refers to hukum. Hukum is the divine law. It is the orderly yet finely balanced way all of existence operates, and when it gets disturbed or tampered with, there are calamities. Closer to home, this manifests as the concept of reincarnation and the law of karma, which helps explain why there is pain and suffering. This source of all reality has set the stage and watches its cosmic play, and only interferes in exceptional circumstances. It interferes when it is happy to bend the rules for you. Such interferences is grace. We call it grace, Gur Prasad or Nadar, which we as humans perceive as miracles. So this is my take on God. It is not as definitive as the Western concept of God. It is certainly not Leonardo da Vinci's depiction in a roof painting in the Sistine chapel at the Vatican of a God who looks like an old man with a white flowing beard who lives in heaven, in the clouds, reaching out to us. God cannot be humanized or even compartmentalized. That is rather belittling of that entity. It would not have sons or daughters. Highly evolved souls are blessed, inspired, or touched by the entity and arrive in human form as messengers, prophets, and gurus from time to time. Even giving this supreme entity a name is rather naive. A parent names an offspring, not the other way around. A son or a daughter doesn't name the father or the mother. We are part of his creation. Each religion gives that entity a name or names and then claims ownership. I saw a car sticker in Malaysia that said, Allah is the only true God. Scriptures, if directly descended from him, are words of God delivered by his messengers or God inspired. In Christianity, I have often heard quoted that in the beginning was the Word. In Sikhism, we say, in the end was the Word, because for us, Gurbani is the Word sent to us by God, our concept of God, through our gurus, now encapsulated in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. I do quote from the SGGS, for short, throughout this book. It is the window to enlightenment and also earthly success and happiness for me and Sikhs. This force resides within us human beings, and some of us feel a greater affinity of his presence than others. It does not speak to one group of people. It is responsible for all of creation, so it looks after all of humanity, in fact, all of creation. Firstly, God is the epitome of love and truth, the pursuit of truth and a truthful life. It is also not one unit, one identity. It is a concept that is beyond the limitations of the mind, the muth, but within the field scope of the heart, the man. God is a universal consciousness, a cosmic library, so to speak, of universal intelligence. It is an energy source which pervades all existence and into which we, humans, can tap into if we are open to that through mindful meditation, which we call Simran. The Sikh Mool Mantra, primordial invocation that appears on the first page of the SGGS, provides a fairly wholesome interpretation of my own take on God. The Mool Mantra is Ek Oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhav Nirvair Akal Murut Ajuni Saibhang Guru Prasad. It's the opening stanza on page 1 of the Guru Granth Sahib. Here is my very simple translation. One indivisible, eternal, infinite entity. An energy that is permeating in all and everywhere in the entire universe. It is beyond time, space, and form. It is the ultimate truth, the creator male, without fear and without rancor. The eternal bigger picture, unborn, undying, self-illuminated. Its realm is attained only through its grace. The Mool Mantra is discussed in more detail in the chapter on Sikh meditation, Naam Simran. I know of 3 acronyms of the word God, of the letters God, that perhaps give a better feeling of what I believe God is. The first is the guardian of divinity. Divinity here means that force which is the center of the hukam, the divine law that operates the universe. The second is the generator, operator, and destroyer. That intelligent force which is the ultimate creator, who also operates his creation through the hukam, divine law, and who is also the ultimate destroyer. It is also referred to as the timeless one, the father, the master, or the creator. Sikhs call it Vaheguru, the wondrous enlightener, dispeller of sorrow. Wah. simply is an exclamation of wonderment, as in wow. Gu means darkness and Ru means light. So it refers to that wondrous infinite entity that brings light, enlightenment, into darkness, ignorance. I love the upbeat sentiment behind Vaheguru. So I will be inclined to sometimes use Vaheguru in this book, wherever I can, when I refer to the wonder of the source of all existence. I also have a tendency of using the term he, it, the source, or even the elements around us. God should be seen as a force for racial and religious harmony. Instead, it has become the most divisive and sometimes very violent factor in world peace and harmony. Perhaps God should be spelt as good to indicate what this energy force is all about. So, Vaheguru, God, is the creator and is manifest within his creation. Kabir, a Muslim Sufi sage, says on page 1350 of the Guru Granth Sahib, Kehat Kabir, Meri Sanka Nasi, Sarb Naranjan Dita. Kabir says, all my doubts are cleared and I see God in everyone and everywhere. That's the Sikh coin phrase. If you do not see God in all, you do not see God at all. Or, as I like to put it, if you do not see good in all, you do not see good at all. Vaheguru is not a defined entity, but simply the source of all existence, or the source of all reality. Vaheguru, infinite. Vaheguru is infinite, unfathomable, beyond time, space, and form. The Sikh God does not get angry. He takes a neutral stance, but does sometimes show special favors. He simply allows his creation to continue within the laws of nature called hukum, the cosmic order, and subject to the law of karma, consequence of one's actions and transmigration of the soul. A Sikh must accept and abide by hukum and carry out his dharma, his duty in this life. Any breach of that cosmic order, hukum, not carrying out one's dharma or carrying out deeds adverse to dharma, brings about bad karma and adverse consequences, and not necessarily within one lifetime either. There is also, however, the concept of grace, Gur Prasad or Nadar. If Vaheguru so wishes, then depending on one's deeds, actions and meditation upon the Naam, he does sometimes shower his grace or benevolence, which we call miracles. Meditation upon Naam in simple terms is the time one spends in his company, awareness of his reality. This can be prayer or simply having a greater awareness of the present moment or keeping his presence in one's heart in humility. For a Sikh, this is Naam Simran. Explained further in. It is being explained further in. Whatever decisions you carry out should be with God in your heart, always raising the question, does God approve of what I am about to do? God is good actions. God is good. The law of karma is an extension of the cosmic law, hukum, applicable to all creatures. Hukum simply means that we live and abide within the cosmic law. Everything goes on in an orderly fashion in existence as we know it. The movement of planets and stars and suns and so on. A closer to home example of hukum is that as human beings, we are born to pass on one day. We must unquestioningly accept this hukum and in fact embrace it. This leaves us to ensure that we live life to the fullest, to strive, to better ourselves and accept that this life in human form is for us to better ourselves, mainly to remember God, good, at all times and make him the center of our lives. Secondly, to be of service to humankind, the primordial dharma of any human being. Jeha bijay so lune karma sandra khet. It's a saying from Baramaha in the Guru Granth Sahib on page 134. Jeha bijay so lune karma sandara khet. As one plants, so does one reap. Such is this life, the field of cause and effect. We abide and are tied in to the law of karma. Through transmigration of the soul, we reap what we sow through our actions in each lifetime until we progress on good deeds, carrying out our dharma, accumulating good karma points, and finally merging with the source of all reality, or moving on to a higher plane of existence. Even transmigration of the soul is a concept beyond the limitations of the realm of thought, muth, but more on man. The third acronym of God is glimpses of divinity, the aha or wow moments, or what a Sikh says in wonderment or in ecstasy, Vaheguru. There are certain moments, events, occasions, happenings that take our breath away. Moments when you feel the hand of God, the wow or aha moment. Near-death experiences, narrowly escaping a potential accident, miracles, and so on. Each and every one of us has them, but only some look upon them as glimpses of divinity, God. One needs to feel these special moments and savor them, appreciate them, and be grateful for them. In fact, the moment one starts recognizing these special moments, one becomes a happier and grateful person. Those around you too will find and acknowledge the change in you. Let Vaheguru be an important part of your being, your very existence. Let Vaheguru be the infinite part of your finite existence in this life form. I'll repeat that. Let Vaheguru be that infinite part of your finite existence in this life form. This leads to a sense of well-being. Well-being is the fertile ground to sow seeds for success, leading to true happiness. Let Vaheguru be a greater awareness of the present moment in a state of gratitude for what we have already been bestowed with. So, an intelligent energy which is formless but can assume form, a collective cosmic library of universal intelligence which we, as human beings, as part of creation, can tap into if we know how. It is also referred to as the Akashic records, or the collective conscience of the universe. I met an American Indian at a faith convention in Orange County, California, who referred to this entity as Maki, the dormant but potent force which can unleash destruction with great fury. It is the ultimate force which is within all its creation, which must be respected and honored, a force which can be tapped into for a better life, or a force which can be disturbed by carrying out adverse actions like tampering with nature, indiscriminately cutting down forests, and generally disturbing the ecosystem. It can then unleash all its fury through earthquakes, tornadoes, thunderstorms, hurricanes, and other natural disasters. We are in the midst of the pandemic. As the seed of God, the soul, Atma, is within us, we human beings are gods in embryo, a microcosm within a macrocosm. Jo Brahmande soi pinde jo khoje so pai. Guru Granth Sahib, page 695, I repeat. Jo Brahmande soi pinde jo khoje so pave. The force that exists without, around us, also exists within. Whoever seeks him within finds him. As human beings, we are complete and fully equipped to invoke his grace. So you do not have to go seeking for him in remote valleys and high mountaintops or deserts. Seek him within you. Another quote from the Guru Granth Sahib, page 1064. Kaya kot at upara, this which bear prabh kare vichara. Utterly uncomparable is the fortress of the body. Within it, God sits in contemplation. God resides within you. Mere karta ek bant banai, is dehi vich sab vat pai. Also the same page, 1064. My Creator Lord has created such a wonderful creation. He has placed everything within this body. हर जन ऐसा चाहिए जैसा हर ही होए. Page 1372. हर जन ऐसा चाहिए जैसा हर ही होए. A devotee of God should be godlike. He, she should have godlike qualities. A human being should have all these attributes in the Mool Mantra mentioned earlier and accept that the soul is the non-finite part of an otherwise finite, perishable human body and mind. This physical body you reside in is not for you to abuse, but to look after as a temple of God. A humble acceptance through the man, feelings of the God I'm talking about, especially the God within, is the greatest attribute we can have towards greater success in life and happiness. That acceptance can be nurtured through deep meditation, Naam Simran. One often hears those who are afflicted in some way or have had calamity befall them saying, "Why did God do this to me?" This entity, though loving, watches over while the law of karma takes its course. It only interferes when it wishes through its grace. The decision to interfere is His. We can only request. The God I am talking about has a close affinity with all its creation. As this God is all around us and within us, we have, through our mana, a direct link with Him. Through simple meditation, we can tap into this energy source and open up possibilities for ourselves beyond our wildest dreams. Yet the irony is that once we start savoring this connection, all our materialistic desires fall away, because we then experience a bliss that is beyond happiness, beyond the desire of power, of fame, and beyond materialistic yearnings. Dar, kar, kar, dar, dar, dar chale. Sri Guru Granth Sahib, page 151. Let me repeat that. Dar, kar, kar, dar, dar, dar chale. If you wish to erase all other fear, including the fear of death, start accepting the presence and supremacy and be in awe of God. And one more. Jin padaish tu kiya soi karda sar. Page 724. The one who has created you surely looks after you. So God is that energy source which I refer to as the source of all existence or the source of all reality, which creates and then controls through the laws of nature, the divine law, hukum, and also destroys. It is the loving energy that can also destroy and needs to be respected and acknowledged. How do we worship God? We worship by simply being aware, accepting, and acknowledging that entity's presence within us and around us at all times, and showing gratitude for all that we have been bestowed with. Spend some time, perhaps in the morning, early morning, and perhaps once again just before falling asleep, in its presence and feeling gratitude for all that we already have. Now, the practicing Sikh sets an ongoing union with Vaheguru through 3 short prayers at dawn, dusk, and before retiring for the night. This is her spiritual discipline, nourishment, or exercise if you like. This is to keep aligned and in tune with the source of all reality. Remembrance of Vaheguru should be as often as possible. Some Sikh-oriented congregations have services of just chanting the word Vaheguru, 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 dwelling in wonderment of this amazing existence and its creator for hours. Sikh sages do that with every breath that they take. More of that in the chapters on meditation and Naam Simran. As I sometimes say jokingly in my concerts, the entity was actually called Good. Some idiot dropped one of the letters O and it became God. Do not give it form. Treat God as an abstract phenomenon which is beyond our finite understanding, yet pervades in and around us. Now, the exercise 4. You now know that muth, the intellect, has its limitations, but the mana is beyond limitations. With eyes open, as you want to read this, go into a meditative mode with breathing getting slower and deeper. You can do it with your eyes closed because you can hear me here. So, close your eyes, start breathing slowly, and start breathing deeply. Breathe in Sat, breathe out Nam. Relax, completely relax your whole body with a sense of gratitude for getting these wonderful opportunities. Feel your mental faculties switching from the analytical, proof-seeking muth to the infinite mana. Feel the intellectual process fall away, and you are reaching beyond that into the state of nothingness, which is also the state of boundless possibilities. Aha, you are thinking again. How can a state of nothingness also be a state of boundless possibilities? As I said before, put your intellect aside and just feel. Don't think, feel. Just believe, feel. Reach beyond your intellect into that state of infinite possibilities. All words, do not worry about them. Just feel and move beyond the limitations of the muth, the intellect, into that unknown, unfathomable, uncharted realm of timelessness, spacelessness, and formlessness. This uncharted ground is Vaheguru, the wow factor. Feel the boundless joy, exhilaration, and sense of freedom this realm provides you. This is Vaheguru. This is the realm of infinity, the plane of truth called Sachkhand. Sachkhand vasend rankar, kar kar vekhe nadar nihal. Page 8 of the Guru Granth Sahib. Sachkhand vasend rankar, kar kar vekhe nadar nihal. In the realm of truth, the formless Lord abides. Having created his creation, he watches over it with joy, and by his glance, grace, he bestows happiness. Sorry, you'll have to continue this exercise on your own. Spend some time on it. Listen to these words and spend some time. Just dwell on that state of nothingness, and also that state which is teeming with all possibilities. Hopefully I have allayed your fear and apprehensions of the word and entity called God. Good. So the path to happiness, there is a small graph here. On top is acceptance. First, you need to get acceptance, faith, feel, state of man. Surrender to the will of God. It reduces mental burden to rationalize all events. When you surrender to God, you have already surrendered all your worries to Him. Let Him deal with it. That produces contentment. Relinquish materialism, greed, gossip, lies, and jealousy. Get rid of them too. Ultimately, you have the state of happiness. So, thank you. That was chapter 4. And the next chapter 5 is basically on happiness. And we will talk about that in the next segment. Thank you very much. Vaheguru, Satnam, and blessings to all.